Hey, it's me again. I'm going to talk to you some more about some of my comics. I'm going to count some of my comics, and what I decided to do, I'm going to quit doing the shelves for this week, and I'm going to work on this box here. This here box, this is the box that I've been leaning up against. Whenever I take a comic out of a box, I lean it up against the side of this box. Oh, it's so heavy, guys. And it's only a short box, but I've stuffed it with so much stuff. And I just thought, yeah, rather than carrying on with the shelves, I was so sort of, I want to know what's in this box basically. This box, I've been leaning up against this box with my comics for a few weeks now, thinking to myself, what the heck is in this box? So I'm going to do this box first, then we'll go back to doing the shelves. As you can see, I'm going to take the lid off. It's stuffed to the brim, basically, with little bits. And look, even down the sides. Look at that. No wonder it's so blinking heavy. I really have stuffed this fuller than full. Let's have a look through them and see what's there. Alright, starting off, I've got some Secret Six by Gail Simone. Let's just get the camera angle good if I can. There you go, it's a little bit closer, isn't it? The Secret Six. That's quite a good title actually. I quite enjoyed this title. It wasn't bad at all. Catman. Is that her name? Slander or something like that? She's daughter of Vandal Savage, isn't she? Deadshot, of course. The Marionette, maybe, or the Doll Man. I can't remember what his name is now. Quite a weird character, though. Quite freaky, that character is. It's kind of like a contortionist, but yeah. It's, I swear he's like taking out some of his ribs or something so he can contort more. I can't remember what the story is, but he's quite a weird little character. Now, Faces of Evil, Deadshot. I think they've turned him more into an anti-hero, though, haven't they? Mind you, he's a merciless killer, so they should accept that he is a villain. So I suppose Secret Six in a way, because it's mainly made up of villains, so it's kind of it's a bit Suicide Squadish, I suppose, but it's not like a government thing that's running it. I can't even remember who's running the Secret Six and what exactly their mission is, to be honest. I get a feeling that, I don't know, I think it formed in one of the big crossovers and then carried on in its own little book. But I can't remember what the reason behind the forming was. Battle for the Cowl. I can't imagine Catman being Batman somehow. Don't think he has quite the skills of Batman. Oh yeah, Bane was a member of them as well for quite a while. Big old thug Bane. More Secret Six. Who's that Wonder Woman's taken down? Is she one of the members? Yeah, I think she's one of the members of the Secret Six. I can't remember what her name is though. Horror powers, to be honest. I can't remember much about her. Bit of a mysterious woman. I think she had some kind of... I think she might have been another daughter of Vandal Savage. I'm not sure though. Don't quote me on that at all. It's a long time. So these are from 2009, these ones. So I'd say it's been 9 years since I've read them then. So it's quite a long while ago. It looks like it goes over from Simone and it goes over to Ostrander, who I believe wrote the early Suicide Squad books, didn't he? Oh, then it goes back. It's only a one-shot of Ostrander and it goes back to Simone again. Oh, I think this is Black Alice. Is this Black Alice? I think that's the character that Gail Simone created. Like a magic user. There's Catman fighting a tiger. He should really get killed, but I dare say he doesn't. And there's a Manhunter. What are the Manhunters doing? There's, it's Simone and Ostrander there. It's pretty cool covers. And someone looks like they've come to a bad ending. Whether it's Catman that's done it or not, you have to read the book to find out. Okay, looks like someone's trying to do some voodoo on Catman there. Voodoo! I'm just thinking about Catman. Catman is my dad's nickname for him when he's a DJ. He does a rock and roll podcast called Catman Jack's 50s Hop. I help him out of it. I'm the rocking rhino. Oh, I don't know who that is, but it looks like he's... I take it that scene isn't actually in the comic book, where they've got the 3 heads of members of the Secret Six, as trophies on his wall. The Six Guns Blazing. Don't recognise that guy. Oh, is that Deadshot? But in a Get Up, he's got Deadshot's eyepiece. So maybe from back in the past or something. Character select. That's done in the old gaming sort of way, isn't it? You know the old games consoles where you're fighting. You know, what is it? I can't remember what the games are called now. Like Ultimate Combat or whatever. Oh, no, Ultimate Combat. What is it called? Brutal Combat, Fatal Combat. I'm sure they're one fighting games. They're just like ones where you choose your player kind of thing. That's what it says. Character select. It looks very much like that. There we go. Secret Six again. I think that guy at the bottom there, Dwarf Star, isn't he the psycho from the Atom series? That guy. He grows small and he was a bit of a psycho. I think it might have been the same one who was in the Ryan Choi Atom series I spoke about last week, but I can't remember off the top of my head. There you go, Bane riding a dinosaur. That's pretty cool. If you're gonna be a superhero or supervillain, and you can have the option to ride on the back of the dinosaur into battle, then you really should do it. It really should be amongst the things that you do, given the option. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, I see what's happened. Where's... Oh, I don't believe this. I've got a comic missing. 28, 27, 28. Got no bloody 29. It goes straight to 30. What a pain. Secret Six versus Doom Patrol. And then I've got a random Doom Patrol episode in there. It must have been from the crossover. Special crossover with Secret Six, Doom Patrol. I don't think I was collecting that series of the Doom Patrol, which is why you've got the book in here, just with the Secret Six. And then number 31. Is that the last one? I think it's the last one I have. So, not sure if it was the last one of the series. May 2011. This might have been when the New 52 kicked in. I can't remember what month the New 52 kicks in. Let's just see if this is the last of the series. Does it say anything in the back of the book? Next issue, The Secret 666. Okay, I don't have that then. That's annoying. I have noticed though that some of my books are unsorted on the bottom shelf, so maybe some of these ones will be amongst it. So here we go, Arkham Reborn. It's a little three-parter. Let's have a look at them. Arkham Reborn number 1. Number 2 is a bit of a jigsaw puzzle going on there. And number 3. Can't say I recall it too well. I do like the jigsaw puzzle look of the first 2 covers though. It's quite interesting. It's like a mishmash of characters going on there. Like the jigsaw puzzle pieces aren't quite going in the right place, but yeah, it's interesting. Right, then I got this one. Batman Special Edition, The Vengeance of Bane. I'm not sure why it came in a big sized thing like this. Was this like a British release? Did it only come out in the UK? It's got a Glenn Fabry cover. Or was this actually how it came from DC? It doesn't actually say DC on the front that I can see. A DC Comics very small there, 1994. But it hasn't got... Oh, number 6. Batman Special Edition. Maybe this was... I don't know. I haven't got any more like this, I don't think. I'm thinking it may have been just like released for the British public, maybe. I'm not too sure. See, it's only got the British price on there. There's no dollar price on there at all. Features the full story behind the man who broke the Batman. Plus the first ever Batman tale. Okay, Infinity Inc. One of my early videos, we had the old Infinity Inc. from the 80s. I think it was late 80s. Now this is from 2007 Infinity Inc. Can't say I remember this at all. Everyone can get the powers, only some dare to use them. Well, that's Steel, obviously. Wasn't that his daughter or something? I kind of vaguely recall they brought in a daughter or a niece or something, and she ended up having superpowers. I can't recall now. I certainly don't recall this book at all. Infinity Inc. The Deadly Hands of Kid Empty. Interesting name. Some cool covers. An interesting logo as well. Got the old sideways 8 signifying infinity. But it's definitely not the members of the old Infinity Inc., that's for sure. So far, the only ones I've recognised, the person I've recognised is Steel. There was another hero in the background now. Superman was just rushing in as well. Steel, Infinity Inc., A Traitor Within. I always liked Steel. He was possibly one of my favourites of the reign of Superman, actually, when the Superman died and the 4 Supermen come back. I really enjoyed Steel, and his own book that he had for a while was pretty cool, actually. Superboy as well was good. The Eradicator, we never really saw enough of the Eradicator to really get to like him. And then the Cyborg one, I didn't mind until I realised he was actually an evil person. Yeah, I didn't mind the Cyborg one first of all. Then he turned out to be the villain of the piece, didn't he? Guest starring, guess who? Look at that cover. Who do you think could be guest starring? I wonder if this big blue bat-like symbol in the background could be some kind of clue as to who is guest starring. Could be wrong. Alright, now it looks like a bit like Atom Smasher, who was a member of the original Infinity Inc. That person there with the claws, I've got no idea. But they look like they're with Lex Luthor there. Alright, Infinity Inc., their first mission. This is episode 8, and they're going on their first mission. So there was a long period of recruitment and training. And I say, I don't recognise any of the people there. There's no Steel in that, so it's still just helping out. Got quite a snazzy little costume they've got, the little Infinity emblem on the shoulder. Really not remembering this story at all, but it's not really surprising. It's a testament to my poor memory, but possibly also to the fact that maybe the books weren't that engrossing if they haven't gripped me at all. In fact, I think I saw that mention. I was going through some notes. I saw Infinity Inc., like a later version of Infinity Inc. mentioned online, and I was like, oh, I don't remember that. Oh, maybe I'll have to check that out someday. Little realising or remembering that I already actually bought it. So yeah. So the enemy revealed. I have no idea who that enemy is. And this is the shocking conclusion. So it looks like it only ran to 12 parts. Obviously Batman's inclusion in that episode wasn't enough to keep it going. They're talking about the Dark Side Club. Isn't that to do with Final Crisis, where Darkseid is sort of killed and his spirit goes back in the past? And I don't know, it all got very confusing when I tried talking about that last week on the blog. They're just so convoluted. The old Grant Morrison, I find his stories to be so convoluted sometimes. They just do my head in. Of course, that may just be testament to the fact that I'm not very clever. I don't know. But anyway, here's another 8-parter. The Rann-Thanagar Holy War. I don't remember it being referred to as a holy war. I thought they were quite technical-minded, both of those planets, and didn't have any deities that I can remember. Captain Comet, Adam Strange, Bizarro, Hawkman, of course. Is he one of the Omega Men, that guy there? One of the Omega Men. Starman, Animal Man. Firestar? No. What's her name again? Firestorm. No, it's not Firestorm. What's that? Firestorm. Oh, I don't know. How can I not remember her name? Starfire. Yeah, I think it's Starfire. I've got bad memory. She's a very well-known character as well, so I don't know why it took me so long to remember her name. It looks like a Quadian. He's got that Quadian look about him. Quadian, say it how you like. Alright. Yeah, a lot of characters there I quite like. I like Hawkman, I like Adam Strange. A shame they had to go to war with each other. Now, I think it was last week I did a book called, I can't remember who it was now, but it had a lot of this cast on it actually. Captain Comet, The Weird was in it, Starman was in it as well. So I'm thinking this may have followed on, or that may have followed on to this. Alright, we've got a Hawkman special, number 1, just thrown into the mix. Rann-Thanagar Holy War. Then it's back to the main story. Number 4, Rann-Thanagar Holy War. Then we've got an Adam Strange special thrown into the mix. I like Adam. I liked it. He was kind of like a tragic story. I liked him though. He could only go to Rann. He had to. There's some kind of super teleportation beam, the Zeta Ray, I think it was called, that it allowed him to be on Rann for a few days or a week or whatever, and then the energy would run out and he'd be sent straight back to Earth again. He'd be teleported straight back to Earth, and he had to busily try and find where the next Zeta beam was going to hit the Earth. And he used to have to try and travel to where the next Zeta beam was going to be in time to be transported back to Rann again. It was quite an interesting story though. They were cool. A good concept. Interesting. And I wonder if this Holy War, if that's Sinar, who we dealt with in that other, what was it? Strange Adventures, I think it was, that book I looked at last week. Lady Styx is the other villain of the piece. In the clutches of Lady Styx. She's a horrible looking thing, isn't she? Right, and I recognise The Weird, but I can't remember if I've got an actual story. Did he have a short running book, The Weird? I can't remember now. I can't remember if I got it, if it was such a thing. But anyway, let's carry on looking. Right, a little 6-parter, 52 Aftermath, The Four Horsemen. Okay, I don't remember the Four Horsemen. Obviously the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, I assume. It looks like the trinity of Wonder Woman, Superman and Batman are taking them on. Death comes for Superman. Obviously Death being one of the Four Horsemen. And the plague comes for Wonder Woman. Pestilence, isn't it? Pestilence is the name of that horseman from the Apocalypse. Famine, pestilence, war and death, isn't it? I'm not sure which one this is. Maybe it's famine because it seems to be eating everything. I don't know. It looks like a hyena, doesn't it? It's a nasty looking thing, that one. Batman looks like he's got his work cut out for him there. And that thing surely has got to be war. The howitzers planted on its chest. And then defeated. No spoilers, but you knew it was going to happen, really, didn't you? The three greatest heroes, the world's finest, the trinity of DC heroes, defeated the Four Horsemen. Okay, the search for Ray Palmer. Wildstorm 50. Does that mean it's the Wildstorm world, which must be in I don't know, dimension 50? Because the 52, they started up 52 different dimensions, didn't they? Decided there were 52 alternate worlds in the DC universe. So I'm assuming the Wildstorm universe is universe 50, and that's where they went to search for Ray Palmer in that episode. And then they go to this one, World 3 has got the Crime Society. Is that the one where all the superheroes are villains? So instead of Batman, you've got Owlman, and Ultraman instead of Superman, and I think it's Superwoman instead of Wonder Woman. And they're all villains. They're all wrong-uns. They're all ne'er-do-wells. Oh, these seems to be a bunch of first issues, actually. I didn't realise that. So they're not following on from each other, doesn't look like. So you can read them in any order. The Red Rain World. It's a bit of a... Try saying that fast 3 times. Red Rain World, Red Rain World, Red Rain World. Yeah. Yeah, that's where Batman is a vampire, isn't it? As you can see there from that picture. He's very much a vampire. I think most of the world are vampires in that world. And then Gotham by Gaslight. One of the first... I think it was one of the first DC Elseworlds that was, I believe. I think I remember reading that somewhere. It's like a Victorian era of Batman and Gotham. Okay, Superwoman, Batwoman. All right, so this is a world where the genders are reversed of the heroes, I'm guessing. Red Sun World. This is where Superman's spaceship that brought him to Earth as a baby crash lands in Russia rather than in Kansas, where he's raised as a communist, raised in, you know, I think it's in the time of Stalin as well, so I think it's like a slight time anomaly. Also, yeah, just like a accident of where he landed, I don't really call that, but that's how the timelines differed. Okay, Countdown Arena. Seems to be 3 different... Batman versus Batman versus Batman. That's exactly what I was thinking it was going to be. So the 3 Batmans from different dimensions are battling each other there. And then again in the arena, this is a 4-parter. Part 2, we seem to have 3 different Green Lanterns battling it out. And a similar tableau is being shown here in Countdown Arena number 3. It's a bit similar to the Convergence, where the heroes had to fight each other for their worlds to, or their cities to be allowed to continue existing. Right, and then there's the battle of the 3 Supermen. Right, this one is a 5-parter, another 52 Aftermath, Crime Bible, 5 Lessons of Blood. You just about make it out. That's the question stand in there, isn't it? The new question, Renee Montoya. She got it's a match in her hand. I thought you had a cigarette for a minute. I was actually going to smoke a cigarette with that mask on, but it wasn't. It's a match. So Deceit was the first of the 5 Lessons of Blood. Then Lust appears to be the second of the 5 lessons. Lust of the flesh. And then we have Greed. Murder. That's definitely a sin. And then the Parable of the Faceless. Yeah, I think these kind of tied in with that. Oh, I don't remember now. The one I was just talking about, the Dark Side, where he went back into the past, the Final Crisis. I think that kind of ties in with that. I'm sure the question was they were trying to seduce her into crime or something. And I think one of the, I could be mistaken. It doesn't really matter. I try and write some stuff up in the blog like I always do anyway. So make sure you check out the blog if you get a chance. Alright, here we go. This is the most infamous comic book ever. Countdown to Infinite Crisis. This one made me cry. I don't mind being a wuss and admitting it. I bought that, yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay. I looked at the cover. I didn't really think about the cover much when I first started reading it. And it's like, oh, it's Blue Beetle. Oh, yeah, cool, Blue Beetle. I love Blue Beetle. He's one of my faves, man. Awesome. Oh, yeah, he's kicking butt here. Yeah, he's really doing well. Yes, he's really good. He's got no friends. Oh, he's on his own. Oh, he's facing off against quite a difficult task. You've got to face off bad odds. He's facing bad odds here. And then before I got to the last couple of pages, I suddenly thought, hold on a second. I turned to the front of the cover and I went, they're going to kill Blue Beetle. Yeah, literally in that voice. And I was like, no, don't let it be so. But so the Blue Beetle Ted Cord run that DC did when they first acquired the characters from Charlton was one of the first full comics that I collected. One of the first full runs of comics. So that's why he's got such a dear place in my heart. But they killed him. They bally well killed him. Right. And then we've got a 6-parter, Day of Vengeance. 6 months until Infinite Crisis. It's just one crisis after another, isn't there? 5 months until Infinite Crisis. Is Day of Vengeance when the Spectre decided to wipe out... Yeah, the Spectre decrees all magic must die, and that includes the power of Shazam. So you can see how it would bring him into conflict with the magical elements of the DC universe. There we are, Ragman. I think that's Nightblade or something. I can't remember that guy there with the sword. He went on to do. After this Day of Vengeance, I think they formed Shadow Pact, didn't they? I think I mentioned that in a previous video. Blue Beetle there. Detective Chimp. I think that's the Enchantress. I'm assuming that's the Enchantress. There we go. The Last Stand against the evils of magic. And that's that Nightshade, I think, of the teleportation and the darkness dimension powers. Right, more war in Rann Thanagar. So this is Rann Thanagar War before it became a holy war, obviously. 5 months until Final Crisis, or Infinite Crisis, not Final Crisis. Is there another Final Crisis come after Infinite Crisis? Oh, I'm confused now. Told you there was too many crises. Adam Strange versus Hawkwoman. Original Sin. Looks like everyone's getting involved. Hawkman, Adam Strange, the Green Lantern Corps, Captain Comet. See, this is where it always gets so confusing with Hawkman, because you've got the alien Thanagarian Hawkman origin, plus you've also got the Egyptian Hawkman, Hawkwoman origin, and they think they've rewritten it so many times. It's just not even worth trying to work it out. To be honest, it's just too confusing by far. Now it looks like we've got a couple of casualties here at the end, and everyone's looking pretty upset. Okay, so this little book is a six-parter, Villains United. Now, these are the people who went on to form the Secret Six, aren't they? I think what it was, all the villains got together under Lex Luthor. I think they wanted to take out the superheroes once and for all or something. And then the Secret Six gets formed. I don't know why the Secret Six formed. They didn't want to be part of the Villains United. I think they was like, no, we're not interested in this. We want to do our own thing. And then they decide, oh yeah, we're going to hunt you down and kill you then, or something like that. Yeah, it was a strange one. That was their strong guy at the time, wasn't it? He was a parademon, wasn't he? I don't know how he got away from Apocalypse and became his own being for a while. Cheshire Cat, not Cheshire Cat, I keep saying Cheshire Cat, it's not, it's just called Cheshire. Cheshire the assassin with the poisonous nails. Infinite Crisis is here. The OMAC Project, another six-parter. So that man may live. These all counting down to Infinite Crisis, these ones. The OMAC Project. That was launched, wasn't it, by... although it had been in the comics before, previously, it was relaunched by Maxwell Lord, and that's what Blue Beetle was trying to stop. One of the things that Blue Beetle was trying to stop. Last Stand. And this one, loads of people became OMACs, didn't they? Like a nanovirus-y kind of super-powered thing where they lost their own consciousness and became like automatons under the power of Brother Eye, the satellite in the sky. I think it was supposed to have been originally created by Batman, and then he was thought about using it, but he said I think he decided not to use it because he didn't want to go there. But then I think Max Lord managed to appropriate it. Right, and then we got an OMAC, another 8-parter, just OMAC. Who is the last OMAC? I think in the OMAC project they managed to stop all the OMACs apart from one, and the whole of this book was whoever the last OMAC was trying to keep control of himself, trying to be the man in charge of the OMAC suit instead of the suit being in charge of him. And I think it was all about debate whether they should, destroy OMAC and in the process destroy the innocent person who was, controlled by OMAC. The Return of Brother Eye. I'm not too sure what's going on there. And OMAC seems to have taken the gender swap. So maybe looking at this is the original OMAC. Somehow he transfers the power over to this lady. So the ice emblem is burning on her chest. And then the next one, she seems to have been overtaken herself by the OMAC. And she's looking like she's going to kill him. If the fall to the ground doesn't do it first. And then the last issue, OMAC's looking rather dead inside the suit there by the looks of it. There's definitely a skull going on there. Right, we've got more Secret Six now. This is from the pages of Villains United, Secret Six. So I think I showed you a Secret Six at the beginning of this video, but I think that was a later run of Secret Six. This is the first run of the Secret Six after they broke out of the Villains United books. Someone looks like they're smashing someone to death with a bone, so I guess that would either be Java or Vandal Savage, I bet. Secret Six versus the Doom Patrol. Psycho Killer. Yeah, what's his name? Is his name Dr. Psycho? Doesn't he control people's dreams or something like that? Or you can get into their heads, can't he? Alright, the heir to Savage's throne. Yeah, so Vandal Savage. Thought he would be in it somewhere. Because I think that the leader of the Secret Six, I think her name's Scandal Savage. I'm sure it's something like that. And this is one of his many daughters. Right, these, a lot of comics just seem to be, I'm not quite sure why these are in my collection. I wasn't collecting Superman at the time. I think the comic shop sort of thought they'd chance it because they saw the OMAC Project tie-in was there. They thought, yeah, we could get another book sold here. We'll put it in his batch and see if he'll take part. So yeah, I've got Sacrifice 1 and 2. Oh, it's 3 parts by the looks of it. They seem to, these first 2 are definitely OMAC Project tie-ins. This one says it's Sacrifice Part 3 versus Ruin. Looks like Darkseid's already been taken down. Sorry, Darkseid. I always say Darkseid. So I was saying right. And then Sacrifice concludes in Wonder Woman. Again, the OMAC Project tie-in. And then we have an Aftermath. Adventures of Superman. Sacrifice Aftermath. What is it anyway? Is this after she's broken Maxwell Lord's neck? Is this where it's from? And then the OMAC Project strikes in that Wonder Woman. Doesn't even follow on from that last Wonder Woman. 219. Sacrifice concludes. And I've suddenly got a 221 in there as well. Because OMAC's involved. Okay, fair enough. Infinite Crisis is here. Adventures of Superman. Yeah, again, I'm not too sure why I've got these books. Superman Villains United tie-in. Maybe because it's just because the fact might be important to the ongoing story of whatever I was reading. So Villains United tie-in kind of makes sense slightly. OMAC Project Aftermath. What happened to Superman? Infinite Crisis is still here, and it's Superman with Supergirl's farewell. And then we have a Villains United tie-in in Action Comics. So yeah, definitely a case, I think, of the comic shop guy chancing his arm and like bunging these in me pile and saying, yeah, come on, they're tie-ins to books you're reading. You sure you don't want to buy them? And I've probably gone, oh, okay then. And then we have DC Special, The Return of Donna Troy. I think she was killed by a Superman robot. I think he blasted her with his heat vision. I got the vague impression that's what happened. Surprised that would have been enough to kill her, to be honest, because she's normally pretty hardy. So maybe I'm confusing her with Jade. I'm not sure. Another one of Carl Rayner's love interests. He just seems to lose his love interest quite badly, doesn't he? Sure, his first girlfriend gets killed. Alex gets killed by bloody Major. Oh, I can't remember his name again. Major something or other. Oh, it's so annoying. Major Force. That's it. And then I'm sure he had a relationship with Jade, and she died at one point. And also with Donna Troy, she died, and yeah, it's another one he had a relationship. I think if you as a female in the DC universe should be very wary of having a relationship with Kyle Rayner, which is a shame because he's a nice chap. Right, Infinite Crisis. The countdown is over. Infinite Crisis is here. I'm sure there was a Final Crisis as well. Was there a Final Crisis as well? Am I getting confused? I don't know. This is Infinite Crisis anyway. I can't even remember what happens in this crisis. Is this the one where the guys break out of where they've been since the time of the first crisis? And yeah, Alexander Luthor, is it? And Superboy Prime, is this the one with him? And the old Superman from the other world. I think that could be the old Superman from Earth 2. That looks like Alex Luthor. Yeah, I think that could be that one. These look like Earth 2, don't they? I'm assuming that's Batman from Earth 2 with his wife Catwoman. And didn't the child become Huntress? Am I remembering correctly, or probably not? Yeah. There's our world Superman, and there's Superboy Prime rather. Superboy and Superboy Prime. he's like the most powerful one because of the world that he was from. I don't know, power levels were different on that realm, in that realm. So he was able to sort of fight everybody practically at the same time. Alright, so this is a 7-parter. Is that everybody, literally everybody trying to fight Superboy Prime there? I think he decided he wanted his universe to come back, kind of thing. And in the wake of Infinite Crisis, we had Brave New World, an 80-page giant. Is that Creeper? Not too sure. Tomorrow Woman, is that? OMAC, Martian Manhunter, Shazam. It looks like Atom, because he's shrinking. Alright, Infinite Crisis, Secret Files and Origins 2006. I'm thinking that's Earth 2 Superman with Lois Lane, because he'd lost her, hadn't he? Not lost her, she died. She wasn't just lost. I don't know why I had to mention that. I think it was pretty obvious, but there you go. I can't help but strange, silly things come in my head as I'm doing this these videos. Right, more Day of Vengeance, Infinity Crisis Special. These are just a series of one-shots, I think, in this little package here. Then we've got Rand Thanagar War, Infinite Crisis Special again. So many tie-in things nowadays. Infinite Crisis Special, the OMAC project. So these are all just little one-shots that came up around the time of Infinite Crisis in the different other books that were going on. Yeah, all very confusing. I think that's maybe what it was. Maybe there was a lot of different things happening at the same time. So you had the Villains United, the OMAC going on. There was war between Rand and Thanagar, and Day of Vengeance was happening around the same time. Yeah, I think all these crises were there, and then Superboy Prime broke out from the dimension he was stuck in, and yeah, all hell broke loose. Right, the battle for Bloodhaven. Do not enter by order of the United States government. So it looks like Bloodhaven had a quarantine at one point. I don't recall that at all. I know there was No Man's Land in Gotham after they had a big earthquake. I'm not too sure what's happening here, but Bloodhaven was where Nightwing hung out. Where is the protector of Bloodhaven? And who are these strange robot-y looking dudes? Who's this guy here? I don't know. I don't know, I don't remember any of it. Right, guest star in the Teen Titans, okay. So this is the Teen Titans group here. And I assume these people are the ones who are doing something in Bloodhaven, but I'm not sure what. She reminds me, I'm sure she's a super villain, that one. It was like, I think there was a group that Suicide Squad dealt with once. They were kind of like a government super team, but kind of like covert operations kind of thing, like Forces of May or something like that. I don't remember now. She looks like a Liberty Bell, like not Liberty Bell, but Statue of Liberty kind of character. And he's got stars on his shoulders, so I'm thinking he's some kind of patriotic inspired hero. And here we have Major Force. I'm assuming that's Kyle Rayner then that he's fighting, because they have major history. Major Force killing his girlfriend Alex in like one of the very early issues of his book. It's quite controversial. There was a whole movement about the girl in the fridge or something, because she was stuffed in the fridge after being murdered, and I think it might have been Gail Simone complained about it, saying that this is no way to treat female characters. He's just using her as a plot device, and she has a point, I suppose. But then these things do happen in superhero worlds. Okay, Grant Morrison, J.H. Williams, Seven Soldiers of Victory. I always get confused because it's got 7 in the middle there, but I keep reading 7 just Soldiers, a bit 7 Soldiers of Victory. It's got a bit of creak, got a bit of fold on there. I think maybe where it was stuffed into the comic book so hard with all the other books inside there, it must have taken a bit of a crease. Right, yeah, I can't remember who the Seven Soldiers of Victory were in this run, because I think the original Seven Soldiers were lost and the new Seven Soldiers were created, because that's the Vigilante, is it? I can't remember any of the other people. Phantom Lady, maybe? And I think there's a new Seven Soldiers, and I think Clarion the Witch Boy was going to be one of them. They sort of aged him. He was in the Demon comics that I'd read. He was just like a 5 or 6 year old. He was literally a witch boy, you know. And now he sort of turned him into an emo witch teen kind of thing rather than a boy. I don't know. Maybe he's still a boy. Maybe he's 14 looking now or something like that. Definitely older than he looks in the old Demon comics, but I did prefer him in the old Demon comics. But he still looks quite good here anyway. I still like him and his little cat Tickle, his little familiar. It's like a werecat kind of thing. It changes into a much bigger version of itself when he needs it to. Right, Zatanna must have been one of the Seven Soldiers. She's having some rabbit trouble there by the looks of it. She can't get them all in the hat. So, good cover. I like that cover. For one single blue eye flashing out at you. She has got 2 eyes. The other one's just hidden by a hand. Okay. Doing some magic there. And there she is. Right, the Shining Knight. There's another one of the new Seven Soldiers. Was he the one who was like been alive for forever, basically? Wasn't he around in the time of King Arthur, fighting in for Merlin and King Arthur against the forces of Mordred? I think that was the Shining Knight. Fighting some kind of nasty alien thing. Right, another member of the Seven Soldiers, the Manhattan Guardian. So this isn't the original Guardian. It looks like it's a black guy as well. The original Guardian fights for Cadmus, doesn't he? He's like the security on the Cadmus. I think he was a copper, or I think he's a clone of a copper from like the 40s or something like that. I'm sure he's an old character that was cloned in the present, and yeah. But this guy obviously decided to take up the Guardian name, I suppose. He's got the same sort of helm and the shield. I can't really remember what happened there. The Newsboy Army. Yeah, they're a quirky little team. And I think they were the Newsboy team were like from the 40s originally, and yeah, every now and again they break them out in Superman comics. They're a bit weird, really, a bit daft. I think back in the 40s, they used to just sell newspapers, didn't they? That was the job. There'd be a lot of kids on the street corners selling papers. That's how they made a lot of them made their money that way. So yeah, I don't know what they used to do for Superman. Maybe they just kept their ears to the ground and told him if they discovered crimes, being perpetrated or something. I'm not too sure. Mr. Miracle, one of the Seven Soldiers of Victory. I think this is a different Mr. Miracle as well. Sure, I think this is a black guy as well, actually. Shiloh, or something like that, I think his name is. Yeah, I'm sure this is maybe a guy that was taught by the original Mr. Miracle, scot-free. Yeah, I may be right. Here lies Mr. Miracle, super escape artist, free at last. Right, coming on, must be getting towards the last of the Seven Soldiers now. Bulleteer. Bit of a crazy costume, that. Strikes me as being very, very fit for purpose somehow. She flies at super speed, wearing that tiny little corset with no sort of nothing holding it onto her body by the looks of it. That could be very awkward when the slipstream catches the front of her brassiere in the wrong way. Yeah, okay. Maybe her metal body allows it to stay up better. Yeah. She's got a freaky look, isn't she? She's got a bullet head. Okay, and the last of the 7 soldiers, I wouldn't have remembered. It's Frankenstein. Or is it Frankenstein's monster? I'm not too sure. It's Frankenstein, it says there. I think he takes his master's name, doesn't he, at the end of the book of Frankenstein? I'm sure it says he takes his master's name. Yeah. I think in this Frankenstein's like a supernatural detective kind of thing, or he's like a supernatural agent that deals with supernatural crises. And there's his missus, Bride of Frankenstein, with 3 arms. Because I suppose they decided, is it 4 arms? Can't remember if he's got 3 arms or 4 arms. It looks like 4 possibly, because there's one holding a gun there, one holding a gun there. So I'm assuming if you're being made up of the body parts of other people, we can put as many arms as they can fit it, I suppose. Alright, and then we've got 7 Soldiers of Victory 1. Yeah, I think we have 0 at the beginning of that pile. So I think you start off with 7 Soldiers of Victory 0, then you had the 4 parters of each of the different 7 soldiers, and then we had this one, 7 Soldiers number 1. Right, and now we have 52, a weekly comic that ran for a whole year. So 52 weeks in the year, 52 books, 52 new dimensions. It all makes sense, probably. America loves Booster Gold. Lex Luthor, the rise and fall of American icon. Not sure what's going on there. Is that Rennie Montoya, the question? And there's a question mark there. And something's coming up behind her. Is this before she becomes the question? Montoya versus a monster, it says here. Who survived the Rann-Thanagar War? Colt of Connor, Way of Life, or Way of Death? Maybe this tells how she becomes the question. Week 5. Adam Strange dead, it says at the bottom there. Question mark. Chinese heroes. Booster Gold secret rendezvous. Time is warped. Exposed. Ooh, what's happened with Booster Gold? Booster's blunder. An old flame for Montoya. Wasn't that Batwoman, didn't it? Wasn't it Batwoman must have been. Maybe she came in these books. Ralph runs into Green Arrow. Ralph. Is that Ralph Dibny? The elongated man? I think his name's Ralph. Right, so carrying on with the 52. Week 9. Planet Hell and still battles Natasha. I think that was his niece that we saw in that Infinity Inc. I think her name was Natasha. You'll believe a man can fall. What's this? Is this Superman without any powers? Falling. And I think that guy there, I can't remember his name, Supernova? I think his name's Supernova. I think that's Booster Gold. In a different guise for some reason. And there we go, Batwoman. Batwoman begins. Elongated man unhinged. This must be after the death of his wife. Yeah. Yeah. And then we get some story of Black Adam, Isis, and her little brother. Can't remember what his name is. Osiris, I think, and then Sobek, the crocodile guy, who ends up being not a very nice guy in the end. We thought he was a good guy, but you should have known not to trust the crocodile god. The resurrection of Sue Dibney. Isis and Adam, just friends or more? Steel, the last great American hero. Are you ready for the wedding of the century? I wonder who that was between. Oh, His Last Battle by Clark Kent. Supernova up close. Can we trust him? And behind bars with the question. Booster Gold Memorial issue. Yeah, so I think Booster Gold, I don't know, you have to fake his death and then you had to go in the timeline for something to help out some crisis. And he came back as this supernova, I believe. 52, week 16. The origin of Black Adam. The Marvel family and Black Adam, friends at last. And then we have Vic Sage question, and that's Rennie Montoya. So that must be say before he dies and she takes over his role. Week 17, only 35 more to go. Thank you, Lobo. Yeah, it's got some origins. I think they must have the ongoing book in the front, and then I think they had the origins of various people at the back of the book. I believe that's how they did it. When is the Shadow Pact and the funeral of Booster Gold? Yeah, so Booster Gold messing around in the timelines there by the looks of it. Okay. Adam Strange is not dead, and you can see his origin in this book as well. You asked for it. Infinity Inc. That's that book that I was looking at a little while back. Still don't know who any of the people in it are. I think that's Natasha now, Steele's niece, I believe she is. Magnus Robot Hunted. To play on the Magnus Robo Hunter, isn't it? It was even a DC comic that was like Valiant or something like that. I'm sure it was Magnus Robo Hunter. Yeah, this is Doc Magnus who made the Metal Men, isn't it? So I'm assuming the Metal Men are after him for some reason. They've had a falling out or something. Black Adam is not happy there. Someone's died. I think that must be in Karnak. Is that the name of the country that he rules? We want you for the new Justice League, and that's the new Firestorm. Jason Rush, I think his name is. Because I can't remember who's inside his head, because Firestorm was always two people, whether it's Martin Steen, the same person who inhabited the head of the original Firestorm, Ronnie Raymond, but he got killed, didn't he? He had a sword shoved through his chest by Deathstroke. That was most annoying. Okay. Trick or treat. The beast who came to dinner. Probably didn't wash his hands or anything. Rated V for violence against humanity. Week 27. That's Eclipso, isn't it? Spectre. Not sure which Spectre that is. Is that Hal Jordan? Is Hal Jordan still Spectre at this time? Doesn't look like Crispus Allen. And Eclipso was Atom's wife, wasn't it? Atom's ex-wife. She accidentally killed Sue Dibney, and I think she becomes Eclipso afterwards. Okay, the origin of Catman's at the back of that book. Last days of the JSA. Batman appears to be killing his costume there. Plus the origin of the Metal Men. The first death of Captain Comet. I don't know any. The Quest for Nanda Parbat. This must be Vic Sage. Mind you, there's maybe it's Kent Nelson. No, it wouldn't be though. I don't know. There's Dr. Fate's helmet there for some reason. I'm sure Vic Sage and Renee Montoya went to Nanda Parbat. I don't know if he was going to see if he could find a cure for his cancer there, or whether he just wanted to go there to die. I can't really remember now. It's Batwoman and Nightwing. And then we have an unknown body in the morgue. Who could it be? How did they die? Who is it? Oh, of course, there's a question mark on it. And it says on the bottom there, the question's last moments. So yeah, I think the question has been answered, and the answer to the question is the question. Week 35, Reign of the Supermen, but not rain as in raining, but rain as in rain into the ground like rain. Like water from the sky, Reign of the Supermen. Lobo's attack plan. Starlight behind enemy lines. Is that Lobo going loco? Lobo's last stand, it says. Booster Gold returns. Funeral for a friend. Skeets attacks. This looks like the Four Horsemen. The Horsemen have come. The end is near. That's right. We saw them a little while ago when I was going through the comics, didn't we? This is worrying. It looks like Lex Luthor with the powers of Superman. That would be most troublesome. Yeah, Lex Luthor, Man of Steel. Lex Luthor versus John Henry Irons, alias Steel. And the Teen Titans v Infinity Inc. I'm guessing that's Renee Montoya there. It could be Batwoman, I suppose. Meditating. Okay. Dr. Fate seems to be summoning his inner Cthulhu. Animal Man there, I believe. Looking at his jacket and the shape of his glasses, I think that's Animal Man. Is that Wonder Woman? No, I'm not too sure. The thing that's on the head there, who that is. Okay, week 45. Black Adam. Death comes to Kahndaq. Funeral for the Queen. Yeah, I think his wife or his lover, his girlfriend, his partner was killed by that Sobek that I told you about. I think her and her brother, were both killed by Sobek. I can't remember why, who put him there, and what the reason was for doing it. But it was quite a little shock in the book. Answer the question. That would be the new question then. That would be Montoya. Smoking a pipe, shooting bullets made out of metal men. That's got to be Dr. Magnus, hasn't it? Dr. Magnus and the Metal Men. World War III begins here. And then we have, leading straight on from the pages of 52, World War, A Call to Arms. Book 1. Book 2. Book 3. Hell is for Heroes. Got Raven, Martian Manhunter, and the Bronze Tiger. United we stand. Martian Manhunter in the middle again. Looks like he's turning into Black Adam there. Oh, the Imperial General in Iron or something like that. I can't remember his name now. Chinese hero. Some Green Lanterns, Power Girl, Hawkwoman, Steel. Alright, then that must be the last book of World War. So 4 books in World War. Oh, then we're going back into 52 again. I didn't realise that. So this must have been like just squeezed in. I didn't realise we'd got to the end of 52. So 50 back to 51. I'm assuming that those made sense to be in there. Now, why are they in there like that? Because that's June. Oh, I don't know. And that's from April. But I'm not going to worry about it now. It's just going to be a right pain in the bum to actually write out all these blinking titles when it comes to doing my blog. Go and check out the blog. I know no one watches these videos anyway, so I doubt if anybody actually watches the blog, looks at the blog either. But yeah, I don't know why I bother trying. But yeah, it's I'll put some information in the blog that you can go and check out if you feel like it. Right. Oh, week 52. So the year without Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman is over. So is that what that 52 was about? There was none of the big heroes were around anymore. Oh, I don't know. Right, and then next we have, so I say 51 countdown. So begins the end countdown. Yeah, it does say 51. I suppose they couldn't really start at 52, I suppose. I don't know. Probably not. 50. So now we're counting down. We've counted up and now we're counting down. Oh dear. 49. So, yeah, I suppose it must be... Oh, how am I going to even write these numbers down? Am I going to write down 51 to 0 rather than 1? Yeah, I don't know. Because, yeah, they are all counted down numbers. It's not like countdown book number 3 or nothing like that. Number 48. It's just literally... Oh, I don't know. Death of a New God. That's when Mary Marvel becomes, I don't know, corrupted somehow. Is that Jason Todd in the, yeah, because the Red Hood, the helm is broken, isn't it? I didn't notice that, first of all. Introducing Forerunner. That's the Karate Kid, isn't it? Is his name Karate Kid? Of the, Legion of Superheroes. And Monarch. I'm assuming Monarch is still Hank Hall. Is it Hank Hall? No, am I getting confused now? Hank Hall. No. Hulk. Was Hulk called Hank Hall? Am I getting confused with Hawkman, who's like Carter Hall? But okay. Yeah, brain not functioning. I'm sure it was Hank Hall was the name. Don and Hank. Oh, I'm not sure. I think it is. But then I'm getting confused with Carter Hall and... I'm just going to look for the comics. But anyway, he became extant, didn't he? 43. A Final Farewell. Someone from the Teen Titans, I'm thinking, by the line up there. Oh, it could be Superboy. Enter Clayface. Fall Guys. Bit scuffed, that comic. Never mind. Is that the Pied Piper and Clue Master or something, or Trickster or something like that? Superman. Atomic Warfare. Viral Breakout. That looks something to do with Oracle. That's Oracle's emblem that he's bashing through, isn't it? The first appearance of Mr. Action. Collector's item. It looks like he's laughing, Cyborg. So I'm guessing it's some kind of joke, because I certainly don't recall a Mr. Action. Ivy League. Yeah, there's a couple of the rogues. I think it's Pied Piper and Trickster, I think it is. I think they escaped from someone. They were handcuffed together, weren't they, at one point? It gets a bit grim at the end. I think Pied Piper gets shot and he has to chop off his arm and run around with his arm attached to him. I'm sure that's what happened. It was quite dark. Rogues Roundup. From Beyond, the new challengers of the unknown, maybe? Just says the new challengers. Going to the chapel. Okay. Bachelorette party in progress. Maybe that's where these two are obviously too young to get in and the bouncer's not going to let them. They're begging, please let us in. The Crime Society flies again. That's the villainous, I think, Earth 3, yeah, it says they're free, actually. Here they must be in Dimension 15, or World 15, I'm not sure how you meant to say it, actually. What is it, Dimension Reality? They're in reality number 8 in this one, by the looks of it. Still in 8. Is that Superman's friend? Olsen? Something Olsen? Terrible memory. I should know his bloody name. Jimmy Olsen. Should bloody remember that. It's my bloody partner's dad's name, Jim. Okay. Is that the Monitor? Is he a Monitor there, that guy? Okay, Firestorm in Bloodhaven. Lex Luthor fired. As Superman finally had enough of his crap and he's flying into the sun. Oh, okay, Superman. That's a new way of doing things for you. Mr. Mixix spills his guts. Mr. Mixie Zip Click. That's how I'm going to say it from now on. Mixie Zip Click. It may be right, it may not be right. Don't ask me to say it backwards. Fire Pits of Hell. Is that Jimmy Olsen on Apocalypse? He is definitely out of his depth there. For goodness sake, we've got the granny goodness shakes. Innocence Eclipsed. Oh, is that when she become the strange version of herself, Mary Marvel? When she become the darkened version? Was it Eclipso that did it to her? Or was it Darkseid? Never too sure. Yeah, there he is, look. I know, maybe I got it the wrong way around. It was the Trickster who gets killed then. And, or was it Clue Master? I think it's Trickster. I think it's a Flash, because Clue Master is a Batman villain. Clue Master is the dad of Spoiler, isn't he? I'm sure. And this was Trickster, who was a Flash rogue. Yeah, and he dies, and it looks. I think it's the Pied Piper who has to end up sort of yanking his body around. It's really dark. I know they're villains and all that, but come on. The search is over. The new life and times of Ray Palmer. This Earth seems pretty quiet. Too quiet. Is that Monarch there on the right? Countdown to Final Crisis. Mission accomplished. Prime objective. Is that Superboy Prime? Not too sure. Obliteration. 51. Countdown to Final Crisis Convergence. The light at the end for the Pied Piper. There he is. He's got the arm still of the Trickster, whoever it was. Female Furies. Looks like they're fighting Granny Goodness. Revolution. War in Pieces. Is that the Monitor and Darkseid there? And then at the front here you've got Monarch. Challenging the Justice League. The great disaster is upon us. Countdown to final crisis. Someone's drowning in a river on fire of New York with flames everywhere. And the signature says Collins 07 after Kirby. So is this a recreation of an earlier Kirby cover maybe? This artist Collins' take on it perhaps? Okay, now... Right, Mary Marvel's costume was never white, was it? Or was it? I can't remember now. I'm sure it was red. But that looks like the Mary Marvel when she was eclipsed or whatever, that was when she went black and gold. But she seems to be reverting to white and black here. Yep, Darkseid is shooting off the old Omega beams there. The dark side of Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen's turned into Turtle Boy or whatever he was for a while. And he's going toe to toe with Darkseid. That's a little bit silly, but whatever. And then one countdown to Final Crisis, the end. Final Crisis must be upon us then. And the next book we have here, DC Universe Zero. The ending begins here. Just 50 cents. So it's not the beginning of the end, it's the end of the beginning or something like that. Right, I've taken the last batch out of that box. I'm looking forward to counting how many there were in there actually, because I had a little chat with someone who commented on one of my blogs, because I said I think there was like 250 or something in one of these smaller boxes, and he reckoned it was slightly over exaggerated. But yeah, I really stuffed it full, as you saw at the beginning, how many comics I had stuffed in there and how I had them on in sideways and on top and all that kind of thing. So it'd be interesting to find out how many comics were in this box. Right, Checkmate from the pages of Infinite Crisis. Got Fire there, Mr. Terrific. I think this might be the lady who was Batman's bodyguard for a while. Didn't she go on to join Checkmate? I can't remember what her name was, but I think it was like she was like a bodyguard stroke love interest. And I think she got her mind usurped by Max Lord, and she was like one of the guys that Blue Beetle had to fight at the end before he was killed. I think that's her, but then so looking now, she seems to have a mechanical arm, so maybe it's not. And I can't remember for my life of me what she was called. Oh yeah, no, I think it could be her, because didn't she become part OMAC? And that's why she's got a mechanical arm and that eye there. Bit of OMAC, one-man army corps, whatever it's called, sort of popping out on her there. The Suicide Squad goes rogue. Never really a surprise, is it? Unless it's referring to rogues, as in the Rose Gallery of Flash. Maybe Suicide Squad have picked up a few rogues to join them. That's Icicle, isn't it? And is that Mirror Master? Well, I think it's for some reason I think it's Mirror Master, but the gun makes me think it's Heatwave or something. But no, I'm pretty sure it's Mirror Master. All right, the return of the Suicide Squad. It looks like Mirror Master may be in their team because they're all running into a mirror there. That tattooed guy, is that the guy from the Suicide Squad movie? El Diablo, I think that's him. Pawn 502, the mission begins. Isn't that a Cobra agent inside Checkmate? I think, I get a feeling it might have been. Checkmate, Hearts of Steel. There's definitely some kind of Cobra thing going on there. You've got you've got a Cobra there, so it must be something to do with Cobra. And I think is it Sergeant Steel, the name of that guy? I can't remember now. He's like an undercover-y, no, not undercover, but he's kind of like a secret government missions kind of guy, isn't he? Right, more checkmate. Shadow Pact is coming into the fray, helping him out against Cobra by the looks of it. Rogue Knight. Fire has set fire to the page. Let me just see if the inside cover is the same. Yeah, I like it when that happens. I saw that the other day when Grodd was eating the cover of the book, and the next page was the same as what was showing in there, and they've done the same with this one. It always amuses small minds like mine. Bane. Is that Kung Fu Master, that guy there, or Karate Master or something like that? I'm not too sure. He looks like he's fighting checkmate. Guest star in The Outsiders. Yeah, I think Mr. Terrific was in The Outsiders then, wasn't he? I can't remember actually. I'm assuming from this cover, unless he was working for Checkmate, which is possible as well. Whew. Egg in your face. Oh, that's the August General in Iron or something. I think I couldn't say it different earlier on, but I'm sure it's the August General. Chinese hero. No idea who that is. I don't think they're an ongoing character. I'm assuming they're a one-off appearance. Look quite good though. Quite interesting. The Fall of the Wall begins. I'm assuming we're talking about Amanda Waller. The wall strikes back. The wall does not fall too easily. Now, is it proper wall, as in big lady you wouldn't want to mess with, or is it the supermodel Amanda Waller? It looks like the proper Amanda Waller there. Yeah, she's a large lady. She lives up to the title of the wall because you can't knock her down, and you can't climb over her, and she's a wall. I don't know. There we go, the Fall of the Wall. Yeah, I just think she looks better as how she was. I'm pretty sure that's how she was originally, as a large lady, and then they decided to turn her into a bloody supermodel, all skinny and svelte, with no kind of. I don't know why that happened. If it just happened in the New 52, maybe, or in the I don't think it happened in the Rebirth. I don't know. It's all very confusing that. But it's meant to be the same character. They don't mention her going on a super diet or anything like that. They just randomly decided one day she was going to be skinny. I have no idea why they did that. Yeah. A new mission begins here. Rise of the Chimera. Chimera? I think it's pronounced Chimera. Only because I've heard people say it like that. I always used to say Chimera. When the first time I read the word and I didn't know what it was, Chimera was what I would say. Okay, there's the August General again. Enter the Global Guardians. Checkmate, end of times. And over the top. I believe that is the last one from 2008. So it went for a couple of years, 2.5 years it went for. Okay, Blue Beetle did come back again, but not the same Blue Beetle. Ted Kord is dead. The first Blue Beetle, what was his name again? Oh, escaping me. Dan Garrett? Yeah, Dan Garrett was the first Blue Beetle. And then we had the third Blue Beetle. Now, the first Blue Beetle, he had the Scarab, which he was able to utilise. I think he had to say a magic word and he gave him powers. It's like a magic Scarab that he found in Egypt. But he died before he could give the magic word to Ted Kord. But Ted Kord promised him that he would follow in his footsteps and fight, the bad guys and, be a force for good. But he didn't get the magic word. And then suddenly, when the third blue beetle comes along, I think the scarab, I don't know why, it just flew off. Did it fly off under its own reasoning, or was it something to do with the Day of Vengeance or something? I'm not too sure. Did Shazam make it fly off? I get a kind of image of Shazam, the wizard from Shazam, throwing it and making it seek out a new person. I could be wrong. I can't really remember. But anyway, it latched onto Jaime Reyes, and then we discovered that it's not magic at all. It's actually advanced alien science. Creatures, a race or a conglomerate of races, I'm not sure, called the Breach, who go from planet to planet. The scarab is something they send off to the planet to attach itself to a person, and it basically controls them, a bit like OMAC in a way. It basically takes them over, controls them, and they become the scout or forerunner, whatever, to the invasion of the planet. So the idea is that the scarab attached itself to Jaime Reyes, and he should be become an enemy of man, start searching of ways to conquer the planet and gauge its defences and so forth to tell the Breach, its alien masters. But for some reason, he doesn't take over his mind. It tries to take over his mind. He has a few old battles, I think, to retain his sentience, retain his humanity. But yeah, so it's not a bad comic. I mean, it's no Ted Kord. I like Ted Kord being just a guy with no powers, just his tech and his bug. Blue Beetle was the new Blue Beetle is pretty overpowered, to be honest. It's pretty tough. Once he's out from underneath the scarab's alien influence and is able to be himself, he's a young guy as well. He's only a kid, really. Not too sure how old he would be. I don't know, maybe 17 or something like that, 16, who knows. I know he joined the Teen Titans for a while. He's got an interesting little cast of friends. Can't recall their names. Paco, I think one was called Paco, I could be wrong. But yeah, it's got a few schoolmates. Yeah, it's not a bad book, but I just don't like the fact that one moment the scarab is magic and everyone's quite happy with being magic, and then suddenly, hey presto, no, it's not magic anymore. It's the Breach or the Reach or whatever. I said Breach earlier on, but I'm sure it was the Breach. No, I think the Breach was from a different book. The Breach, I'm sure the Breach was in another book. What was the name of her? Oh, I don't know. Maybe they're called the Reach. That'd probably make more sense to be called the Reach than the Breach. I'm not too sure. But whatever. Here we go. 13. 14. It's a guy thing. He's probably not old enough to drink. Shouldn't be in a bar. We check IDs. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's getting a hard time from the barkeep. Blue Beetle meets Big Blue. Superman. And here he's tangling with Eclipso. Total Eclipso. Thundering Typhoons. Titans together with Lobo. Took me a long time to remember his name. I don't know what Lobo's doing there. This town just ain't big enough. Is that Giganta? Or Giganto? What's the name? It's Giganta. Okay, Sinestro's Reach. The Sinestro Corps War continues. And here we have Blue Beetle with the Spectre. That looks like Crispus Allen. He's got his goatee. Fanning the flames. Yeah, Jaime, innit? It's pronounced Jaime, I think, because he's Mexican descent. Did I say Jamie Reyes? It's Jaime Reyes, isn't it? Because the J's are pronounced as H's. Rotting Hell Reach. Yeah, it was Reach, not Breach. sure there was another character who was in something called The Breach. He was like a Captain Atom kind of. I think you mentioned at one point he wanted him to be Captain Atom. In this comic, oh, it might have been called Breach. I can't remember now. There was definitely like a Captain Atom kind of hero with I don't know, some kind of quantum powers or something. Maybe he was called Breach. I can't remember now, or maybe I don't know. One hell of a date. I'm not sure who he's with there, but it looks like she's got magical powers. The Beast of El Paso. That's where he lives. I think El Paso's in Texas. Okay. Okie dokie, some more. That's number 30. Coming up to the very last batch now. Okay. 31, The Midnight Hour. Teaming up with the Justice Society of America's Dr. Midnight. Polaris Opposites. Polaris has got the magnetic power, doesn't he? Teen Titans under protest. Showdown. Who is he having a showdown with? And then so the last two comics. Make way for the Cadra. Is that a load of Blue Beetles like himself? Are these other people from other worlds that were overtaken by their scarabs and are under the ruling of the Reach? I think it could be. And then finally, Blue Beetle, The End? Question mark. And I haven't got any more comics in the box, so I'm assuming it was the end. But he has had another comic since then. I think since the Rebirth, he has got his own book again. And Ted Kord is alive in that book, and sort of there's a bit of a slightly rewritten because of obviously with the reboot of A New World, they've changed some of the rules of it. I don't think he was ever a member of the Justice League, Ted Kord, in the new reborn universe, but he's still alive. He's alive again, rather, should I say? And and Blue Beetle Jaime Reyes is still got the same powers and origin and that kind of thing. Still having the same trouble with the Reach and the Scarab trying to overtake his power and that. Anyway, that's it then. That is the whole of that box. I'm going to count those. I'm going to count them all up, put them all in the blog. Got to be a couple of 100 comics there at least, I would have thought. But I'll find out. Go and look at the blog if you're interested. And I'll be looking at some more comics next week. Cheers for looking at this video. Subscribe, please.